Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 75. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about what the existence of Shibai Otsutsuki being confirmed is going to mean for the story moving forward, because we got a plethora of paths that the story has opened up to us that can be discussed. And one thing in particular is the fact that for a threat level this large and a being who's this powerful, whenever he does pull up, it's going to be the worst possible scenario and the very thing that Naruto's Hokage has been worried about, which is an Otsutsuki level threat that is beyond their comprehension. And not only is something that is good for the story, it's also something that has been set up for a lot longer than a lot of fans realize. With Naruto's Hokage, and even going back to when Sasuke was on his redemption journey, the idea of a threat level beyond Kaguya was something that shook both Naruto and Sasuke in different ways, and both responded in much of the same way, which is to grow stronger. Sasuke left that encounter with Kaguya thinking, why did someone this powerful need to prepare an army, and was bothered by the fact that he and Naruto were overpowered by someone who was that powerful, and that person still felt the need to build an army of Zetsu soldiers. It reeked of desperation to Sasuke, and it never stopped nagging Sasuke, and it ultimately led to Sasuke training intently, where within 2 years he was able to close the gap in power between himself and Naruto that existed in their final battle. For Naruto, it wouldn't be until after that battle with Tsunade, wherein Otsutsuki had attempted to destroy the world, and the existence of yet another Otsutsuki and another Otsutsuki power in the form of the transcended God chakra mode, with that being revealed to him. But in the time after that, the training to prepare for a threat that spooked Kaguya would begin for Naruto. The Boruto movie novel revealed that during Sasuke's monologue, that at some point he's spoken to Tsunade during his investigations to learn more about the Otsutsuki clan, and it would be after the Momoshiki battle we learned Naruto specifically gave Orochimaru a very long leash, because Orochimaru was working on weapons and defenses against a larger Otsutsuki level threat. Now that very threat has a name now, Shibai Otsutsuki, and the existence of such a being comes during a time where the two men who were charged with protecting the world, Naruto and Sasuke, have both suffered power decreases, with Naruto losing Kurama and Sasuke losing the Rinnegan. But that also comes on top of Code having a Ten Tails army that has been built, infused with its own chakra, and each soldier is capable of using his claw marks, which we now know are a divine jutsu that's been transplanted by Shibai's DNA by Amato, and all that narrative setup looks like it's finally taking us home now. We finally have an Otsutsuki God with God tier powers that are on levels of Samurai 8 level broken, which Samurai 8, for those who don't know, was Kishimoto's series that was written after Naruto ended, and like Boruto was drawn by one of the Naruto assistants. We also have a villain in Code who is a devout worshiper of the Otsutsuki clan, and he most importantly is a follower who is being forced to learn how to stand on his own right now after taking brutal loss after brutal loss. However, right now the existence of Shibai means there's another potential Otsutsuki for Code to turn his devotion to fill that hole left behind by Ishiki's death. The only question we have now is, does Code know about Shibai, and what impact will this have on the story? I do think there's a strong chance that Code at the very least has heard the name Shibai Otsutsuki, and I think there's a few reasons for this. We know based off of the anime that Jigen just straight up doted on Code, even though Kawaki was the one who was more important, because Kawaki was the one who could be used as a vessel, and Code admired Jigen because he was an Otsutsuki vessel. Code worshipped Ishiki as a god. Jigen felt enough towards Code that he not only allowed him to stand watch over the Ten Tails, but the fact that Code's markers were present, even in the chapter when Sasuke first discovered the Ten Tails, that's our sign that Code has at least been taken to that location before, and Code knew more about karma than Kawaki did, despite the fact that Kawaki had a true karma and was being directly trained by Jigen, which means that at the very least Jigen spoke to Code about more about the Otsutsuki clan than he actually did with Kawaki. Is it that far of a stretch to say that Jigen didn't talk to Code about Shibai? I don't think it is. I don't think we can say that, because Ishiki was literally inside of Jigen's body, and when Jigen spoke, it was Ishiki's voice doing the talking. Code, someone who was a religious zealot of the Otsutsuki clan, would have heard that name at some point. And I've seen a few of you guys suggest maybe if Shibai does return, would Code offer up the chakra fruit? And I think logically he would offer it up, but here's the thing. Sticking to the religious aspect, Code is enough of a nut job that he's willing to sacrifice those who were responsible for Ishiki's death. Since Naruto was the first one to target him, it's possible Naruto becomes his primary target to kill, assuming he leaves Kawaki to suffer last, which makes a lot of sense given the beef that the two people have. However, the chapter told us that Shibai's body was discovered, but his consciousness exists on a higher plane, which brings me back to the Samurai 8 aspect of this, because that's exactly a plot point that you got from Samurai 8, where one of the characters talks about how losing their body didn't mean dying and how they still felt connected to everything left behind, and how basically they're still connected to everything. It's clear Kishimoto said, hey, you fans are gonna read Samurai 8 one way or the other. You can cancel my series, I'll just bring the plot over to Boruto. And this stuff with Shibai Otsutsuki and him being on another dimension, that's a clear pull from Samurai 8. It's for that reason I'm not gonna be shocked if we see Code has some kind of a way to communicate with Shibai, even if Shibai doesn't answer him during any of those conversations, because again, why would he? Code's a peasant. You don't drop a character this broken into the story by name and talk about how powerful he is only to never use him. It's coming up at some point, even if it takes us years to get to the reveal, similar to how the Hagoromo reveal took us years of build up before we actually saw him. Those communications could be what draws the attention of this god, who from another dimension his consciousness is currently residing at. And that brings us to the most important point here, Shibai's return. Amado didn't say he was dead per se, merely that he was able to discard his body, but that he gone beyond needing karma, which is needed for the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. He moved past having to need a karma. But if the body is left behind and the consciousness has moved on, remnants of the chakra are still inside of that body, and this is huge. The reason why this is so important is we've seen people in another dimension before, i.e. the Pure Land / the afterlife, connect to the living world, i.e. our dimension, through their chakra. It's the whole reason Obito was able to connect with Kakashi and share his body for a time, because there was still chakra left behind to connect to. It's not crazy to think that we see another chakra ass pull in this series with Shibai, and I think it is going to happen. And I think should this happen, one of the first targets should be Naruto Uzumaki, assuming he isn't dead in the time skip, since the kanji used by Kawaki when he said I'll send you where I sent the 7th is the same style used when Zabuza said he was going to send Kakashi where Haku sent Naruto and Sasuke, which at the time Zabuza was implying that Haku was going to kill Naruto and Sasuke. Assuming that this isn't the case, assuming that Naruto is alive, I think it makes perfect sense that we see Shibai take out the Child of Prophecy, the boy who Hagoromo rewarded for having an ironclad faith and the guts to never give up, with the power of 6-pass Sage Mode to go along with the 6-pass Yang Chakra Seal and the 6-pass power that came as a result of having the 9 Biju chakras. Taking down someone who a lot of people say inherited Hagoromo's will and is the second coming of Hagoromo, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, and it's something that is fitting for Naruto should he go out this way. His death could be what reunites Boruto and Kawaki, who we see are at odds with each other in the future. It stops the two sons from fighting, one naturally born, the other one being a cyborg. His death would also be the last wake-up call to the ninja world, which is already having to deal with the fact that the break glass in case of emergency button no longer exists, because you can't tell the enemy we have a Naruto, because saying we have a Naruto is like saying we have a Sakura and Hinata. They ain't gonna do shit. It's a death fitting of a Hokage, in particular Naruto, who in the light novels has reflected on the fact that he's now lived longer than his own father did, and the Hokage position historically has oftentimes come with the Hokage dying, with Hokages 1 through 4 dying as Hokage, with Hashirama and Tobirama dying during the first Ninja War, Hiruzen dying in Orochimaru's attack, and Minato dying during the Nine Tails attack. Even Tsunade was at death's door when acting as Hokage. The life insurance policy for Hokages might want to be something that Naruto looks into, but one thing you should look into is checking out this KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN video or this Naruto Explain video.